Hello and welcome to our journey into ancient wisdom. Wisdom that has guided humanity through centuries of challenges, triumphs, and transformations. Today we'll explore 10 ancient philosophy lessons to transform your modern life. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by constant notifications, job pressures, or the fast pace of technology, you're certainly not alone. Yet, long before smartphones, social media, and endless to-do lists, great thinkers were already wrestling with many of the same dilemmas we face today, finding inner peace, purpose, and a sense of fulfillment in a world that feels chaotic. In this video, we'll look at timeless ideas from Stoicism, Epicureanism, Buddhism, Taoism, Confucianism, and more, philosophies that continue to captivate audiences on YouTube and beyond. We'll show exactly how these concepts can address our modern-day struggles, whether it's coping with stress, building better habits, or simply learning to appreciate the moments that matter most. Each lesson is presented as a clear, bite-sized insight, perfect for anyone seeking personal growth, self-improvement, or a new mindset shift. As we go through these lessons, keep in mind that ancient philosophy isn't about dusty old books or historical trivia. It's about practical solutions for mental health, happiness, productivity, and positive thinking. My hope is that by the end of this video, you'll have a fresh perspective on how to navigate your daily routines, your relationships, and even your bigger life goals. So grab a cup of tea or coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive into these powerful teachings. Each lesson is timeless, yet perfectly applicable to the complex reality we live in today. By comparing old wisdom with our new challenges, you might discover a roadmap that can guide you toward a more balanced, purposeful life. Ready to begin? Let's start with one of the most influential cornerstones of ancient philosophy, Stoicism, and the concept of focusing on what we can control. 1. Focus on what you can control. From the writings of Marcus Aurelius, Epicurus, and Seneca, we find a recurring theme. True peace of mind comes from focusing on what lies within our control and learning to accept what doesn't. This is one of the most central ideas in Stoicism, and it has never been more relevant than in our hyper-connected, always-on world. Think about a typical day in modern life. Notifications bombard your phone every few minutes, headlines tout the latest crisis, and social media can make you feel like you're falling behind in every aspect of life. Stress often arises when we attempt to control the uncontrollable, other people's opinions, global events, or random setbacks. According to the Stoics, this habit of worrying about external factors is the root of unnecessary anxiety. Instead, they urge us to shift our attention inward to what we can actually govern: our thoughts, our choices, and our actions. Consider a common annoyance like heavy traffic. You can't single-handedly change the traffic conditions, but you can control how you respond, perhaps by using the downtime to listen to an inspiring podcast, reflect on your day, or even practice mindfulness behind the wheel. By directing our mental energy to what truly lies within our domain, we stop wasting effort on the inevitable, and we become more effective in areas where we genuinely have influence. This approach not only reduces stress, but also promotes emotional resilience. Next time you're confronted with a difficult coworker or an unplanned complication, pause to ask yourself, which parts of this situation can I actually influence? Concentrate on that. Release the rest. Adopting this Stoic lens can free up a surprising amount of mental space, allowing you to remain calm, clear-headed, and solution-focused. 2. Embrace simple pleasures, Epicureanism. When people hear Epicurean, they often imagine over-the-top indulgence. Yet the real Epicurus taught nearly the opposite. His philosophy emphasizes that true happiness is found in simple, readily available pleasures, calm conversations, a sense of safety, and freedom from fear. Epicureanism posits that we suffer when we constantly crave luxuries or become anxious about not having enough. In modern terms, it's like chasing the latest phone, a massive house, or brand new car, only to discover that the thrill fades quickly and you're left wanting something else. By contrast, focusing on basic joys, such as sharing a meal with loved ones, taking a walk on a sunny day, or reading a good book, can bring a more sustainable sense of contentment. To apply this to your current lifestyle, start by simplifying one aspect of your routine. Maybe it's preparing a modest home-cooked meal and savoring each bite rather than rushing through fast food on your commute. Or consider a short digital detox where you step away from social media to appreciate offline experiences, a quiet cup of tea in your backyard, or a leisurely chat with a friend. The Epicurean approach reminds us that the good life is less about accumulating material possessions and more about nurturing genuine human connections, feeling secure, and enjoying everyday moments. By learning to relish simple pleasures, you might find that much of your anxiety lifts, revealing a more peaceful, balanced way of living in this modern world. The Middle Way, Buddhism. Traveling eastward, we encounter Buddhism and its principle of the middle way. Rooted in the teachings of Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, the middle way rejects extreme indulgence on one hand and extreme asceticism on the other. The Buddha discovered that obsessively chasing pleasure leads to dissatisfaction, just as denying yourself every comfort creates its own form of suffering. How does this help us in modern times? Think of the constant push and pull between workaholism and burnout versus laziness and procrastination. Or consider the all-or-nothing approach many people take with diets, exercise, or productivity hacks, often leading to frustration or guilt. The middle way proposes balance as the key to lasting well-being. In practice, this might look like setting moderate, consistent goals rather than sprinting from one extreme to another. Instead of forcing yourself to work 12-hour days for weeks, build in regular breaks and personal time so you maintain your energy and creativity. If you're trying to improve your eating habits, allow yourself occasional treats to avoid feeling deprived, but keep the general trend towards healthier choices. Adopting the middle way fosters a gentler, more sustainable way to live. You avoid the exhausting peaks and valleys of extreme behaviors and instead create a rhythm that nurtures both your aspirations and your emotional well-being. In a culture that often glorifies hustle 24/7, this balanced perspective can be a breath of fresh air, helping you cultivate mindfulness, compassion, and enduring happiness. Practice mindful presence, Zen, and other traditions. Mindfulness has taken the modern world by storm, but its roots go back thousands of years, especially in Zen Buddhism and related traditions. At its core, mindfulness means fully paying attention to the present moment without judging it. You're not trying to silence your thoughts. Rather, you're observing them calmly, acknowledging them, and letting them pass. Why is this so crucial today? Because our age is rife with distractions, endless scrolling, message pings, streaming platforms, and the pressure to multitask. Our attention is fractured, and we're often left feeling mentally drained. Mindfulness serves as an antidote, training us to bring our awareness back to the now. For instance, you could do a simple breathing exercise each morning. Inhale for a count of 4, hold briefly, then exhale for a count of 4. During this practice, notice how your body feels, how the air moves through your nostrils, or how your chest rises and falls. If your mind wanders, gently guide it back to your breath. Over time, such exercises reduce stress, improve focus, and help you remain calm under pressure. You can also apply mindfulness to everyday tasks, washing dishes, taking a walk, or eating a meal. Slow down and truly experience the task. Feel the water temperature on your hands, hear the sound of footsteps on the sidewalk, or taste the flavors in each bite of food. This simple shift from autopilot to mindful presence can transform mundane routines into moments of peace and clarity. Five, live in accord with nature, Stoicism and Taoism. Another key concept we find in both Stoicism and Taoism is the importance of living in harmony with nature. For the Stoics, nature can mean both the physical world and our own inner essence, or rational nature. Meanwhile, Taoism introduces the idea of the Tao, or the Way, the natural flow underlying everything in the universe. How does this apply to your 21st century lifestyle? First, it encourages respect for the physical environment, being mindful of our impact on the planet by reducing waste or finding sustainable ways to live. But on a personal level, it also means recognizing your unique talents, temperament, and the direction life seems to be nudging you. Taoism's concept of Wu Wei, often translated as effortless action, suggests that we do best when we flow with life rather than constantly fighting against it. That doesn't mean laziness. Instead, it means working in cooperation with your inherent strengths and the reality around you. For example, if you continually hit dead ends with a certain project, maybe there's a more natural path or a better method to accomplish your goal. Instead of forcing an outcome, step back and observe. Is there a simpler approach that aligns with your true nature? By learning to recognize the natural currents in life, whether environmental, social, or personal, you can adapt more gracefully, conserve energy, and ultimately feel more at peace. Living in accord with nature is about acknowledging that we're part of a larger system, rather than isolated individuals trying to dominate it. When we respect that interconnection, life often moves more smoothly, and our sense of purpose grows clearer. Virtue as the highest good, Aristotle and the Stoics. Moving to Aristotle, we encounter the concept of eudaimonia, often translated as flourishing or the good life. According to Aristotle, living a virtuous life is key to achieving true happiness. Virtues such as courage, temperance, wisdom, and justice define the character of a person who is living well. The Stoics concurred, suggesting that virtue is the only genuine good, while external factors like wealth or fame are secondary. In the modern world, we're regularly bombarded by messages equating success with the size of our bank account, the model of our car, or how many followers we have on social media. However, many who achieve these external markers still find themselves unfulfilled. Why? Because without a firm ethical foundation, it's hard to feel genuine contentment or self-respect. Focusing on virtue means centering your efforts on the kind of person you're becoming, rather than solely on what you're accumulating. This shift in perspective can be incredibly liberating. By valuing integrity, kindness, and moral courage over superficial achievements, you develop a sense of inner security no external circumstance can shake. Try adopting a small virtue challenge for a week. Perhaps you choose honesty, commit to being completely truthful in all your interactions, even if it's uncomfortable. Or pick generosity. Look for daily opportunities to help others without expecting anything in return. Pay attention to how these actions affect your mood, your relationships, and your overall sense of purpose. As both Aristotle and the Stoics suggest, external success is fleeting, but virtue endures. When you invest in your moral and ethical growth, You build a solid foundation that helps you handle both triumphs and setbacks with grace. Ultimately, this approach leads to deeper, more lasting fulfillment, something consumer culture often overlooks. Seven, question everything, Socratic Method. We can't dive into ancient philosophy without mentioning Socrates, who famously stated, "The unexamined life is not worth living." He used what's now called the Socratic Method, a form of cooperative dialogue where you ask questions to uncover deeper truths, challenge assumptions, and clarify ideas. In our age of information overload, social media, 24-hour news, instant messaging, it's easy to accept headlines or memes at face value. The Socratic Method teaches us to pause and investigate. How do I know this is true? What assumptions am I making? Is there a counter-argument or different perspective? Applying this approach to everyday life fosters critical thinking, better decision-making, and intellectual humility. For example, if you're considering a major career shift, ask yourself Socratic questions. What am I really seeking? Money, passion, flexibility? What sacrifices will this require? How do I weigh the risks against the potential benefits? By dissecting your decision with thoughtful questions, you reach a more robust understanding of what you truly want. Likewise, if you're in a heated debate, maybe a family argument over politics or a disagreement at work, try employing genuine curiosity instead of jumping straight to your defense. Inquire about the other person's viewpoints. Why do you feel that way? How did you arrive at that conclusion? This can diffuse tension and lead to more constructive conversations. In an era where fake news and misinformation thrive, practicing Socratic questioning can safeguard you against rash conclusions. It encourages open-mindedness and a deeper grasp of reality, an invaluable tool in both personal relationships and broader societal discussions. But know thyself, Oracle of Delphi and Socratic tradition. Another piece of advice famously inscribed at the Temple of Apollo in Delphi is, know thyself. While Socrates popularized it, this concept was central to many ancient schools of thought. Knowing yourself isn't a one-time revelation. It's a continual process of understanding your emotions, motives, strengths, and weaknesses. In the modern world, with its countless distractions, introspection often falls by the wayside. We get so wrapped up in our jobs, social obligations, and online personas that we lose touch with who we genuinely are beneath the surface. Yet self-awareness is the bedrock of personal growth. It informs our goals, our relationships, and our emotional well-being. How can you practice knowing yourself? One simple method is journaling. Set aside a few minutes daily to write freely about your thoughts, worries, hopes, and observations. Over time, patterns may emerge, triggers for stress, recurring negative self-talk, or moments that spark genuine excitement. Another avenue is to seek honest feedback from trusted friends or mentors. Ask them to share their perspective on how you come across, what strengths they admire, or where they see room for growth. Personality tests can also offer a jumping-off point, although they shouldn't be treated as absolute truth. Think of them as lenses to see yourself from new angles. Whether you explore Myers-Briggs, Enneagram, or other frameworks, use them as prompts for deeper reflection. The key is to remain open and curious, recognizing that self-knowledge evolves over time. Once you begin to know yourself more intimately, decision-making becomes clearer, your goals align more authentically with your core values, and you build resilience in the face of life's ups and downs. In short, self-awareness empowers you to live in a way that's true to your inner compass, rather than chasing external validations that never fully satisfy. 9 Impermanence and Non-Attachment, Buddhism and Stoicism. Both Buddhism and Stoicism highlight the ever-changing nature of reality. In Buddhism, the concept is called impermanence. Everything is in constant flux. Our bodies, our relationships, even the seasons. The Stoics also remind us that life is ephemeral, urging us to cherish what we have without becoming so attached that we can't adapt to change. This can be profoundly liberating. By embracing impermanence, we reduce our tendency to cling to things that inevitably fade. Whether it's a material possession, a job, or even a relationship, realizing that change is unavoidable can shift our mindset from frantic clinging to peaceful acceptance. That doesn't mean we stop caring. It means we appreciate the present moment more fully, knowing that it won't last forever. For instance, consider how we handle material items. Many of us hoard old clothes, gadgets, or sentimental trinkets long after they serve a purpose. But if we accept that everything, including our personal tastes, evolves over time, we can declutter and feel lighter mentally. Similarly, in relationships, acknowledging impermanence can encourage us to express gratitude and love more frequently, recognizing that nothing stays the same indefinitely. When facing a challenging situation, like losing a job or moving to a new city, remember that this too will pass. Nothing remains static, and that includes both life's difficulties and its joys. Embracing impermanence teaches us to flow with life's shifts, cultivating emotional resilience. It also fosters a non-attached form of love and compassion, caring deeply while accepting the natural cycle of change. Community and companionship, Confucianism and Aristotle. Our final lesson focuses on the importance of community and companionship, a theme deeply woven into Confucianism and highlighted in Aristotle's writings on friendship. Confucius emphasized social harmony and the idea that each relationship, parent-child, ruler-subject, friend-friend, thrives on reciprocity and respect. Aristotle, meanwhile, described different kinds of friendships, with the highest form being one that's grounded in mutual virtue and personal growth. Why does this matter in our modern digital age? Despite being more connected than ever through technology, many people struggle with loneliness and a lack of meaningful relationships. We often have hundreds of online friends, but no one to confide in when life gets tough. Ancient philosophers remind us that genuine connection, where we help one another become better versions of ourselves, is a cornerstone of a fulfilling life. To apply this lesson, seek out communities, online or offline, centered on shared interests or values, but make an effort to create authentic bonds. Volunteer organizations, sports teams, book clubs, or local meetups can offer wonderful opportunities to meet like-minded people. Also, invest in your current relationships. Reach out consistently, ask how they're doing, and listen attentively rather than waiting for your turn to speak. Another Confucian principle is the idea of benevolence ren, showing kindness and empathy in everyday interactions. Even small gestures like thanking someone genuinely or offering to help a neighbor can nurture a sense of connection and reciprocity. Over time, these acts build trust and deepen the bonds that make life more meaningful. In short, strong relationships and a supportive community serve as a buffer against stress, a source of motivation, and a wellspring of joy. If you cultivate and cherish these connections, you'll find yourself more resilient, kinder, and ultimately happier, much as Confucius and Aristotle predicted centuries ago. We've now covered 10 ancient philosophy lessons to transform your modern life, drawing from Stoicism, Epicureanism, Buddhism, Taoism, and beyond. These teachings may span different cultures and historical periods, yet they converge on common themes: cultivating virtue, achieving balance, and living with mindful awareness. They encourage us to question our assumptions, explore our inner worlds, and remain open to life's inevitable changes. Let's briefly recap the lessons. Focus on what you can control, Stoicism. Embrace simple pleasures, Epicureanism. The middle way, Buddhism. And practice, mindful presence, Zen and others. Live in accord with nature, Stoicism and Taoism. Virtue as the highest good, Aristotle and Stoics. And question everything, Socratic Method. Know thyself, Oracle of Delphi. Impermanence and non-attachment, Buddhism and Stoicism. 10. Community and companionship, Confucianism and Aristotle. Each of these points offers a practical lens through which we can interpret and navigate modern challenges. Whether it's curbing anxiety by limiting your focus to what's truly controllable, finding joy in life's simple moments, or building a network of meaningful relationships, these ancient insights have the power to enhance your day-to-day experiences. Now it's your turn to integrate these lessons into your routine. Start small. Pick one philosophy or concept that resonates most and practice it daily. Over time, these practices can accumulate, leading to a profound shift in how you view yourself, your work, and the world around you. If you found this exploration helpful, feel free to share it with others who might benefit from a bit of old wisdom for new challenges. And remember, each of these lessons is not just theoretical, it's a call to action. Let these time-tested ideas become living, breathing guides that help you lead a life marked by clarity, resilience, and genuine happiness. Thank you for joining me on this journey through ancient philosophy for modern life. Here's to discovering the beauty of timeless truths in our rapidly changing world.